What's up, guys? Here with you with FC Wonderkid, episode 53. Here with my guy, Breton. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. It is hard to believe that it has almost been a full year of you and I talking football. Um, I honestly can't believe it, man. But yeah, here's to a full year. Beyond that, we'll probably have something fun for like next week. But as of right now, there is so much football to get to. So why don't we get started?
Oh yes, and that what a shout out, Breton. 1 year talking to you, man. What a pleasure, and what a pleasure it is to have the best and the boldest community on TikTok and in every social media platform. We're gonna conquer them, and thank you to everyone that supported us, man. So
Yeah,
let's go bold with it with the Premier League just as a starter, and
yeah.
a lot to say here because there was a big boy match between Arsenal and United. And look, seeing the lineups at the start, I had better expectations because Maguire didn't start, which for me is a great sign. A great sign. And I don't care if Lingard is telling to Paul Scholes the locker room is a disaster. You're right. Yeah, right, Mr. Ralph Ragnick. Keep doing what you're doing. But yeah, but the result went the way that it should, in my opinion. And Arsenal getting those losses that at the time we said to Arsenal fans, don't worry. And look what's happening. You got two big boy wins. So
Two big boy wins.
Oof.
Oh yeah, but I mean, come on, those were pretty. Talk about Jekyll and Hyde, losing to 3 teams you should have beaten, and then beating 2 teams that you probably didn't think you were going to.
That's Arsenal.
I mean, I guess, yeah, there you go. That's Arsenal. There's the tagline right there. And I bet Harry Maguire from the bench was sitting there going, well, who's gonna blame me now? You know, it's not just my fault, man. Like, what the heck? And, you know, you got it. In some respect, listen, I get it. I get Harry Maguire. People spent a lot of money on him. United fans invested a lot of time in the man. There was a lot of eroded confidence. I get it's been a terrible season for him, but you almost got to feel for the guy at some point because he has been the scapegoat for a let's be honest, a team that has more problems than just Harry Maguire.
That is very true. And the fact that he gets bomb threats, that goes to an extent that no human being deserves. Okay?
No, ever.
And I think that tags along with what you're saying. But in terms of playing for Man United, my guy Breton, you know my thoughts. Like, it's not even like I'm not a bandwagon Maguire hate on him. I've been saying Maguire, like at the start I was, So I don't think he offers what he has to, especially with the captaincy, but let's see. I want to talk more about the Arsenal side because for me, Arsenal is overshadowed United because yes, United made mistakes. Alex Telles was a mistake, but they tried their best. And I want to highlight something too. Grealish gave the penalty to Bruno Fernandes, and I remember Cristiano Ronaldo having the same gesture with Benzema, in which he gave the penalty to Benzema, and at the time he got it in. But in this time, Bruno Fernandes didn't, and so a lot of hate comes with it. Very tough with it, too. And then you see Odegaard, which he seems to be the hero of this Arsenal rebuild. And if he's the captain, if Martin Odegaard is the captain of Arsenal, it's Arteta saying to his players, he leads by example. He does what I want other people to do. He leads on the pitch, off the pitch. So it should be a great example. And even his English, Odegaard, is much better. So, big ups to Odegaard.
I mean, how much was spent on him?
30 million.
30 million?
25
30 million.
Of Joey Willock and 5 million investment, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's a brilliant. Even though Joe Willock is serving a very nice role for Newcastle these days, Martin Odegaard for that future. I mean, just thinking about that future, Emile Smith Rowe, Bukayo Saka was electric in that match versus United. Yes. You've got Martinelli, who didn't really play a part, but we know what he can do and what his future looks like. Yes. And even we got to give him a little credit, right? Eddie Nketiah getting a chance to show what he can do. And he puts the ball away when he needs to put the ball away. And while his future might lie elsewhere, than in a Gunner jersey. You got to feel for the man because, they've been playing Lacazette without giving him a chance, and Nketiah much of a chance the whole season. And I just love how that U23 attacking core is going to be front and center for Arsenal the rest of the season because they got some big matches coming up, but they got some great results going in their way to potentially shore Champions League football up. So
You said it,
yeah.
Saka. I have to say it. Saka, right now, no doubt in my mind, is a world-class player. And it's no surprise that he starts for England, okay? No surprise. If Arsenal get a top 4, it's Saka's doing. So that's the first shot. I completely agree. And now the other is Eddie and Keita. Yeah, right. That's facts, man. What a player. With Chelsea, I was like shook. I was shook. Like he was clinical. The movements too. He was a hassle. He was a complete hassle for the defenders at Chelsea. And I wasn't expecting it. The situation with Lacazette too. I do think he's kind of not becoming toxic in that locker room, but there's a lot of chit chat going back and forth. And if he's not playing, it's because Arteta wants to make a stamp in that locker. So it's football, it's not ballet, like Xhaka said it. And that's the other player I gotta highlight. And Xhaka with El Neni. Look, if they played like that every single game of the season, Arsenal might be ahead of Chelsea. If they had a midfield as solid as El Neni and Xhaka have been in the past 2 games, I literally don't know what to say. Because, like, Xhaka's goal was drop the mic. El Neni's defense is like, what? Right? Daddy long legs, man. Like, you can't go against El Neni in midfield. Height, ridiculous. And the passes, too. So, yeah, great moment by the new Egyptian king, as it seems.
So it seems. But we do have to highlight the fact that United did have a little dysfunction.
Yes.
But they obviously they got the job done. And Ramsdale relatively solid again. I forget who it is, but I did see on Twitter. I think his name is Patrick Timmins. I want to make sure I give proper credit on Twitter. He's got a lot of followers. He's an Arsenal follower. And here's what he said about Nuno Tavares's performance. He said it was quite possibly the most confusing performance that I have ever seen. And confusing was a good way to put it because he did some things that were phenomenal, obviously putting the ball in the net. And then he also did some things that were just alarmingly
worrying.
Worrying, exactly. So Patrick, I think his name is Patrick Timmins. Give him a follow on Twitter because, man, that's exactly how I felt watching that game. Like, wow, he's popping up in good places, and then, terrible one-on-one defending. So it's just shocking. But I. Yeah. Well, and you've brought that up to me. He's definitely still a work in progress. Yeah, exactly. Yes, raw talent. But here's what it comes down to. I have to give credit where credit's due. And if you're not going to do it for Cristiano Ronaldo, then I'll do it. I know you were probably getting to this, but I gotta say, he scored his 100th Premier League goal. He did it. It's more impressive that he did it with a heavy heart. Obviously, what he was going through. But he becomes, I believe, the only player in history to hit the century mark in the Premier League and in La Liga. So, Cristiano Ronaldo still breaking barriers, still putting his mark on history. And it's, like I said, to do it with the heavy heart that he was carrying into that game had to have been tougher than all get out. But then you add that to the 140 plus goals he's got in the Champions League. He's got 100 goals plus for Portugal. This guy only knows the century mark. When he commits to a team, he gets things done. So gotta give credit to Cristiano Ronaldo where it's due, right?
What a sentence. Yeah. When he commits, and I think he's gonna commit to Man United one more season, Breton. Because
interesting.
I always see before the game, after the game, I often see Ronaldo speaking to Elanga and Sancho saying, go here, pointing places, like saying, you can clearly see he's explaining things. So, like, I really think he wants to act as a role model, and let's hope that's the case. And yes, if he's going to play against Arsenal after rest in peace. Like, poor soul. Like, what happened? It's like, it's if he plays in the Premier League after such a thing happens in his life, just shows how competitive and how important Man United really is for Cristiano Ronaldo. So let's wait and see, because the top four, I see 54 points, 60 points Arsenal, 6-point gap. I know it's extremely hard, but if someone can act as a hero for Man United, it's Cristiano Ronaldo, man. So let's wait and see. But it's a lot. But Erik Ten Hag got confirmed.
He did. He did.
What was your thought with that? What were your thoughts with that?
Well, I mean, worst kept secret, I guess. It was only 4 months ago, where everyone was like, "Oh, I don't know if Erik Ten Hag is actually available." I think even I started to believe that, and then the more you thought about it, you just wanted it to happen. And I think that's what United fans are kind of looking for right now. Like, hey, we've hit the bottom. How do we climb out? How do we, get out of here? And personnel decisions are definitely a part of it. As we know with Arsenal, they had to make a few signings, some of which haven't worked out. United, what's his name? Ralph Rangnick has already come in and basically said, yeah, Europe is gone. Unless, obviously, Ronaldo pulls a rabbit out of a hat, which, yes, only Ronaldo could probably do. But at least there is a sense that a page is getting turned, and that a man that is coming in that is very calculated in what he does. He knows the things he knows. He also knows the things he doesn't know. And he's ready. Yeah, he's ready to wade through the crap at Old Trafford.
I think a good way of saying what Ralph Rangnick did for Man United is he symbolized, in my opinion, the start of a truthful era. Because I even saw something of a report of him asking the head scouts of Man United for reports on Nkunku, and there were no reports. No reports. So I think that says it all. Okay, that a club like Man United isn't aware of the ascendancy of a talent like Christopher Nkunku from PSG to the Bundesliga, and that was pretty big. It was pretty magnetic. We like me and you, Bretson. We've been watching Nkunku since then.
Since he left PSG.
And Man United scouts don't even have a report on him, or they're like, oh, this kid can be good enough for Man United one day. And now, I am sure they would have loved to have those reports and maybe being ahead in the race to sign Nkunku. That if Man United is, they'll be ahead.
Well, I can tell you a club that does have scouting reports on him, and that's definitely Liverpool. I mean, come on, you just gotta do your job, and talent identification is one of them. They've missed hard. I mean, they've missed terribly on some of them, and they've spent a lot of resources to do so. I think they're one of the only clubs to spend $1 billion, and I don't even know how long. What is it? $1 billion since they last won a trophy?
1.1.
I
think it's 1.1, and Liverpool, I think, is 300 or 400 instead. So it just shows that getting the management of Klopp saves you up so much money and brings you so much quality and titles. So that's what it's needed, efficiency. And Man United fans, tell us down below, who do you think Ralph Rangnick is gonna get, and what do you think is gonna happen until the end of the season with the squad? We'll love to know your thoughts, people. But let's go on a positive on you with Chelsea.
Yeah.
Man, I have to. Yeah. It was a big one, man. But I want to start on Jorginho. What was that penalty? What was that? What's happening with Jorginho lately?
I think that penalty perfectly summarized what's happening with Jorginho as of late. But he doesn't look like the man that helped lead Italy to the European Championship. He looks more like the man that helped lead Italy to failing to qualify for the World Cup. So it's tough. That might be too bold, too mean, too cutthroat.
Truthful.
But man, Chelsea got the win. But it's been a very odd, bittersweet week for Chelsea. Finding out at least if Fabrizio Romano is correct, which most of the time we know he is. It sounds like Antonio Rüdiger will not be.
It's confirmed. Tuchel.
It's confirmed.
Tuchel said after the game at West Ham he's gonna leave. Yeah, we tried to convince him. But because of the sanctions, he actually said because of the sanctions, Yeah, I don't know. I
I
don't know
know.
if Tuchel had like said like because of the sanction this happened, like a
Yeah.
transfer. Oh,
It's and that's the thing is that the sanctions. Everybody that's been talking, I know there's been a lot of talk about what Chelsea needs, this, that. Like all of that's on hold right now until there's a way forward with this. And
fuck.
you know the talk of bringing in Declan Rice, the talk of bringing in anybody right now actually needs to be put on it. It's more likely that you go with a Chalaba at the back and you find a way to I don't know, get another. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You go from within. It's more likely that they go and promote from the youth academy than it is that they can go out and
I agree.
spend any sort of transfer kitty that they've got. So crazy that Rüdiger moves on.
Mm-hmm.
Not exactly surprising. And frankly, I don't fault the man. I don't fault him at all. He made it abundantly clear. Sorry, that word abundantly clear that he would have liked to have stayed at Chelsea.
True.
But there's too much uncertainty, and at his age, at his caliber, coming off of one of the best seasons he's probably had in football, it makes every sense that he needs to do what's right for his family, do what's right for himself, and whatever is left of his playing career. And if that's Real Madrid or Bayern or whoever it is, then more power to him. Sucks for Chelsea fans, but that's
I'm
business, right?
I'm very curious to see Rüdiger in not a 3 center back pairing at the back and with 4. I'm very
Yeah.
curious. Very, because I don't think
I know.
Rüdiger. Let's see. I don't want to be hateful
Yeah.
on him. Keep doing you,
No,
Rüdiger. That you're doing a terrific job. So, but yeah, but
no,
on Chelsea, like nothing happened there that puts you really excited.
I don't want to, screw up a very good thing right now. But yes, after a spell of 5 games on the bench, Pulisic, he got his chance and he took it, and it was a nice deflected cross from Marco Alonso, and he put the ball away. And to be honest, Chelsea needed those 3 points. They absolutely did, because Arsenal's getting close. They're nipping at the heels. And they need something. They need something to get rid of the bad taste in their mouth of Rüdiger leaving and some other things, like Lukaku not doing anything still. And I'm gonna mumble my way through this, but yeah, no, it was like nice to see CP10 get it done, and I hope it leads to more chances for the end of the season, because I think he'll deliver when his back is put against the wall. He'll deliver, and I hope he does for Chelsea.
Feeling. I'm getting that feeling with Pulisic. He gets those injuries, but he seems to always come back with a punch, man. Like he always comes back with that moment. And yeah, let's hopefully he gets those injuries off him and road to success now. But
Yeah.
now let's go with the team, big boy. City, City now. Guaranteeing. I need to know your thoughts. Not guaranteeing, but it seems to be done right now. Haaland to Man City. And all that down with the striker, it seems to be put on hold down. No?
I mean, it might be. I mean, there's also word that they might be going after Declan Rice too. Did you see that?
What?
Or am I completely making that up?
Whoa.
I don't think there's enough resource for them to get any of that done. But no, Haaland to Manchester City is I mean, there's only 3 clubs that could have really gone for his signature without kind of like breaking the bank. City obviously is one of them. And like you said, it's logical. It makes sense. I'm all here for logical. I'm not Mr. Quick Take. I'm not Mr. Say something to say something. But man, Erling Haaland at Manchester City is a very logical choice. And that attack, man. That attack is going to create so many chances for him that if he's not, I don't know how you best what he's been doing for Dortmund in the Bundesliga, but obviously if he transplants those numbers over to the Premier League, right, it's going to be, first off, it's going to break statistics. It's going to be phenomenal. I think he can too.
I think because if Haaland is going to have, instead of Jude Bellingham, that is a fantastic player, De Bruyne serving him up goals, and Foden and Gundogan and Grealish. Grealish is a stud too, 100 million. So that's what's going to be funding your plate, Haaland. But seriously, by City doing this, they're destroying the competition, destroying the competition. The the only position, in my opinion, that they lack really hard. Okay, and backup keeper. It's like
Did
they
you really
need-
just do that? Did you just put Zach Steffen in the mud? Come on. He's
no.
still young. He's young. In keeper years, he'll be a solid keeper. Okay. No, I
But
hear what
I'd
you're
go
saying.
Gavin Bazunu. I'd go Gavin Bazunu.
Oh, okay.
I gotta go. But going with the,
Yeah.
it's Haaland. Like, I really think the numbers with De Bruyne are gonna be unbelievable. And something too, I was checking because I can think about De Bruyne. I'm like, where was the last team he was? Wolfsburg. How long ago was it? 2015. De Bruyne has been at City since 2015. Like, it seems like honestly, it feels short, but it's been so long. And De Bruyne, honestly, is going to be such a legend. And for Haaland, I think seeing a player like him there with those years just makes the decision easier. And if Haaland wants to join Real Madrid one day, the best decision is to go to City right now and afterwards join Mbappe after Benzema retires, if he wants to be a Galactico. So
and that realization of Kevin De Bruyne's tenure at Manchester City is much like our realization of how long Marco Verratti has been at PSG.
Oh my days, yes.
When you think about it, you're like, holy crap, it's been a long time. Because I look at Marco Verratti and I almost think he's like still 23, but he's not.
No.
But he's been doing it at a high level, and Kevin De Bruyne is the same thing. I gotta say, I mean, it has to be announced that my biggest worry is that Erling Haaland goes to City and he gets injured.
Yep.
I mean, it's a lot of games to play. It's Dortmund didn't have the success that they wanted, even though they got out, right? They got into the knockout rounds, right? Yeah, and then they went Europa League. But it has to be said, that's when you're spending that much money and you're spending that much of your wage bill on a striker. If you can't keep him healthy, I get it. It's a worry, but it's his injury history that is his biggest worry, and that's it. That literally is it.
He didn't play against Rangers. He didn't play against Rangers, and I agree with you. That's the biggest question mark with Haaland. Injury prone.
It is.
But
City has won, and Kevin De Bruyne has had similar issues. So,
true.
and they still find a way to win.
I think City's ready to I wanted to know your thoughts because you really like Julian Alvarez, La Araña. So do you think if Haaland gets a potential injury, Julian Alvarez can step up and surprise a bunch of people in the Prem?
I do, but it's such a different skill set. It's such a different skill set. I could see him playing a Gabriel Jesus role. I mean, hey, you want to make sure you beat Watford? Put Gabriel Jesus in, right? What do you have? 4 goals and an assist?
4 goals. Poker.
Yeah.
But the whole news
poker.
is for him
That's
to
right.
leave.
Poker.
It's for him to leave. So
Arsenal?
I think I know we did the AC Milan takeover saying that, but I think it would be nice to go to AC Milan. Maybe Gabriel Jesus. He'd be a player that would fancy it. But no, Arsenal. I think it needs to be a pure 9, like Godwin. But that's a whole other conversation. But yeah, Gabriel Jesus, very true. Poker, and that's a huge doubt where he goes next, man. Huge.
It is, but hey, he did those. I don't care if it's Watford, frankly. If you need the 3 points, you need the 3 points. And for him to get 4 goals and an assist in 53 minutes, come on. He's nothing if not effective. It is bizarre that it was until recently. It was January that he had his last start for Manchester City. So it just shows you that they didn't feel the need to force the 9 on him. He's done what they've needed right now. He's given proper guys some rest. He's scored goals when is needed, and he is going to be one of, I think, up there for one of those names that you gotta watch because it's pretty virtually certain that he's leaving Manchester City.
Exactly. And I'll put another name in those players, and that is Origi. Origi scored today against Everton, and the news is saying too. I said Jesus to AC Milan, but a ton of people are saying Origi is going to sign for AC Milan. So, like,
Interesting.
yeah, excellent free agent signing. Clearly, that's a Maldini signing, not a
That is a
takeover.
Maldini sign.
Yeah, that's not a takeover signing. That's a Maldini signing. So Origi, that's another player. But Liverpool, I think they're fine. I think they're fine with Origi going as a free agent. He's done so much for the club. Go get your big bucks with that signing contract at AC Milan, man. So
And hopefully get your your weekly playing time that at this stage in his career he deserves. But what's he got? He's got like 6 in his last 10 appearances for
something like that.
Liverpool. I mean, like when he doesn't play often for Klopp, but when he does, he scores a goal. It's pretty impressive what he's done. So I think AC Milan is a great next shout, considering the age that they've got up there and maybe some uncertainties they have moving forward about whether or not they can hold on to some of the talent that they've got. But Liverpool I think will be fine. They'll be okay, and they showed that by not only dispatching Everton in the Liverpool derby. And man,
but
I don't know if you have more to say, but to segue into that, we could be looking at Everton not being a Premier League team for the first time in over 65 years. Okay. They might be a championship team with a new hundreds of millions of dollars spent on a new stadium that's coming online in a very long time. But man, Everton has not been in the relegation zone since 1999.
Oh.
And they are staring it in the face right now. They are there because Burnley is in the process of potentially pulling off one of the greatest escapes that I've seen in some time. Obviously, there are better ones. I can think of West Brom, and I don't know. We have to maybe go down that rabbit hole. But what Burnley has done, especially post Sean Dyche firing, is simply amazing. True. Simply amazing. So their win against who was it? Who they beat? Wolves.
Yep. Burnley seemed to do that. Different manager now. And Lampard. Lampard's the man that's heading this Everton team. But Anthony Gordon, man. I was watching that game and I was feeling sorry for Anthony Gordon because he was putting on a show against Liverpool that Liverpool didn't want to play against him. But Liverpool won the game, in my opinion, because of one player. And that player was Robertson. Robertson for Liverpool. He was a menace against Everton. Like there was a tackle that he saved that was going to be a goal, and he scored it. That made everything happen. Like he unnuts that defense of Everton. That was I thought that was going to be a 0-0 game. Honestly, I was getting that feeling. So seeing how this is what scares me now. It's seeing how any jigsaw that's put in front of Liverpool and this front trio, this Liverpool team, they can solve it. Any defense. Like I can't see like Klopp in 90 minutes not managing to score a goal against the team. I think with this Liverpool team, it's impossible for you to get a clean sheet maybe right now. Impossible. So that's a big challenge for who's coming next.
I mean, it's also got to be said about Manchester City because both of them just have that air of inevitability about them. And it just feels like even without a striker, City can get it done too. But yeah, Liverpool's in a different gear right now, and one that I don't know if you can paint them as Champions League favorites as it stands, but we're going to find out soon enough whether or not this is consistent because they didn't look great in that first half. Yes. They didn't look great at all in that first half. But you're right, as they worked their way into it, and Robbo was the reason why. And the funny thing is like, okay, we all know Trent Alexander-Arnold and we all know Robbo, right? Yep. We know that they are like a package deal when it comes to it, and they are, I think you've even stated, probably the best fullback partnership on the planet. I think that's that's. I don't even know if that's debatable. Right? But
it's debatable if you put Walker at the right back.
Okay, maybe, but I don't know, man. Because Alexander-Arnold is obviously he's hitting the key passes. He's hitting this. He's like a hybrid winger, hybrid fullback, and everybody likes to, crow that he can't defend. Okay, But then you got Robertson literally doing the same exact thing on the other side. Okay, he has an endless energy. He's got like that perfect mentality that you want in a team side. I mean, the guy literally worked his way up from kind of like Harry Maguire from Hull City, from getting stepped on his whole entire footballing career, and he hasn't let it go to his head. All he wants is more success. So I love Robertson, and I don't give him enough credit because I don't know. I just feel like it should be expected. Right?
It should.
Yeah.
And I remember Robertson, he was at Dundee United still. I remember seeing him at a game playing against Celtic. I was like, he's a youngster at the time. Just like, But yeah, Trent, I got to say the shout out. Yeah, totally true. Trent is a system player. Okay. He's the system. The system at Liverpool is around Trent. Like, this is how magnificent this is. He's got the most efficiency in terms of creativity in the Premier League. At the right back slot, and he's playing in a four at the back system. So it just shows like imagine if he had 3 at the back. So it shows.
I mean, but like here's the thing: Trent is 23, right? And I absolutely agree that he is a system player, right? But so was Ryan Giggs, so was Paul Scholes, so was Nicky Butt, right? And I'm bringing up that. I don't know if I can equate them just yet. So, yeah, you can even make the argument there. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it's when you find that system that works, when there's a harmony between the manager and the players that he brings in. I think that's what United fans want to feel with Ten Hag when he comes in. But they better be ready for some massive bumps along the way. And maybe not massive compared to what they're going through right now. But compared to what Xavi is going to feel as he implements Xavi Ball at Barcelona. So, I mean, I just love what Alexander-Arnold and Robertson have done, and I don't know why we stopped talking about it for a while, but it's very present now because we're gonna find are we gonna do a best 11 at some point? I think we're gonna do it. Okay, definitely. I think we're gonna find that I might have a little bit of a bias here based on maybe recency. I don't know, but I love it, and I just got to say a little more. It's got to be tough to be an Everton fan right now. I mean, 68 some years in some version of the Premier Division, right? The creme de la creme of English football, and you're now staring down the uncertainty of going down to the Championship and having to claw your way back. And they still have, let's be honest, they still have a game in hand. Mm-hmm. They have a game in hand. On Burnley. If they win the next game, they're 1 point above Burnley. But let's also take a look at where they might have to play. Next game is, I believe, away at Arsenal. Yikes. Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, I'm wrong. They have Chelsea at home. Then they have Leicester away. And why I brought up Arsenal, because the last game of the season for them, for Everton, is away at the Emirates, with Arsenal likely needing 3 points, right, to get to European football or get to Champions League football. And it's Everton that is going to need 3 points likely to remain a Premier League club. So circle your date for that last match day away at Arsenal for Everton fans, and they're going to be sick to their stomachs all 90 minutes.
But getting Chelsea and Arsenal in your final fixtures, you got to feel for Everton fans, man. Like, Lampard, though, it's like, is he the right manager? That's a whole different conversation. But, like, you mentioned Championship, and look, someone's going to replace Everton in the Prem, and it's going to be Fulham with Mark Silva, Fabio Carvalho, Mitrovic, Harry Wilson, all that bunch. Great job gaining the Championship and earning that promotion that Fulham completely deserve. And Mitrovic, he's got 48 games. 44 games. Mitrovic has 44 games, 44 goals. So back to the Prem. I'm so excited to see the Serbian beast that Mitrovic is. Underrated baller in my opinion. So,
and you want to know what his 41st goal in the league? You want to know who he scored it against? He scored it against the guy that benched him when Fulham were last in the Premier League, Scott Parker. So he got that goal against Bournemouth. And
Yes, I
yeah,
did.
a lot of people are gonna wonder. I mean, this is the guy that's likely going to be leading the line with Dusan Vlahovic for Serbia at the World Cup.
Mm,
Can he get it done in the Premier League?
mhm.
And we're gonna find out whether or not he can. What, 3 times? This is the third time he's made his way into the Premier League. I don't know. He was with him at Newcastle. Um, but I just got to ask you a simple question.
Mm,
Okay, Marco Silva likely is going to be the guy,
mhm,
definitely is going to be the guy leading them on. What a flippin' season that they had. All right,
mhm,
over I believe, or very close to 100 goals scored with plenty of games left.
mhm,
Um, he's been able to bring Fabio Carvalho into the fold. He's made
mhm,
Anthony Robinson a Premier League left back, in my opinion, from a U.S. men's national team perspective. They've got the largest wage bill by far in the English Championship.
mhm.
What the hell is it going to take to keep Fulham in the Premier League, to stop this topsy-turvy up, down, up, down, up, down crap that is likely making these supporters loony? I don't know the answer. That's probably a whole nother podcast. But it's got to be
Good
getting the
choice.
right pieces. But they've tried it. I don't know. But they just
I like Mark
steamrolled the
Silva
championship.
though. I like Mark Silva,
Yeah.
Breton. I remember seeing Mark Silva at Stril. Like that was when he first
Mhm.
started. Like he was really good. Like He's a good teacher, system coach. And I think
Manager. Yep.
yeah, he can definitely cause a good impact. And he's a role model towards that locker room. And that's why I really think he's got that. I'm not gonna say because obviously he's not even close to Mourinho, but he's got that
Sure.
presence that Mourinho likes to have too in a locker room. So I like Mark Silva a ton, but he's nothing compared, nothing. But in terms of the potential, but Fulham, big up on them, big up on them.
Big
But
up.
but
Big up on them
do you
for
want to
sure.
talk about who's gonna clinch who got those European competitions sorted?
Would love to. Let's do it.
PSG.
Yeah.
1-1.
PSG.
1-1. I was watching that match because Minge getting that French league title. Big up on him. Winning the Portuguese league title and winning the French league title. Minge seems to get a league title wherever he goes. uh,
It's true.
but
That's true.
it's facts. Messi doesn't have that stat. Messi doesn't have that
No.
stat, and is he in the same? And
No.
Ramos, that is in the same team, doesn't have that stat too.
There you
So
go.
Noon
There you
Minge
go.
has.
Well,
but
yeah. Well, I
but
I,
like
I I
see,
love that.
sorry.
Yeah. No, it's okay. I love that Messi dropped a golazo
Yes.
during that deciding game, and it was a beautiful game that he had. And it makes you think.
Come on.
He could do very well. He could do very well at PSG, and they should have won. They didn't win. But
Yeah.
really, what it comes down to for me is we've got. I know that they haven't won so many in a row, but Marco Verratti, since he's been there, he has now won 8 League One titles. 8. 8 League One titles. That is the most decorated player in League One history, Marco Verratti.
How many
Okay.
managers he's seen?
Oh, that's yeah, 4. What is it? 3?
Jeez, but a lot of them.
Yeah, and soon to be another probably. So damn.
That's facts.
Impressive.
That's facts. And all
Yeah.
I want to say is like 1-1, and nobody was like celebrating after that. I was like, oh, some champagne, some something. No, it was like all hugging each other, normal chit chat. Oh, we just won Liga. We just won
It's
Liga.
boring.
That's the feeling I had, man. And look, people call it the Farmers League because you need to feel emotion. You need to feel like eager. You need to have a reason to watch. Okay? And
Sure.
PSG, after getting 1-1, no, the celebrations said it all. Said it
Yeah.
all why it's called a Farmers League Liga. So, but yeah, Verratti, big up on Verratti. And like PSG next season, they're not going to have Keylor Navas. They're not going to have Ramos, I think he's going to stay. Ramos, I think
Okay.
he's going to stay. The news say that. But Minge is a doubt even too. So, and Pochettino, you said it. The news, Le Parisien, I think that's the source, said
Yeah.
that at the end of the season, Poch and PSG are going to part ways, and it's going to cost 15 million to PSG to part ways. So, yeah, Pochettino.
That's lunch money. That's lunch money for them.
But if you've gone to United, you would have cost what? Nothing.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So it's like
That is true.
PSG.
Yeah, Yeah, I just think, right, winning the League One title, it's expected. It's expected for them. And that literally makes it that much more bonkers that Lille won, right? And that
Yes.
AS Monaco won the year of Mbappe's breakout. It's just absolutely amazing that happened. And yet, you have to give credit where credit's due. PSG has found a way to win as much as they've had with the resources. And then you also have to say, if League One is a farmers league, you could make the same assumption that the Bundesliga, and I don't agree with this, but that the Bundesliga is a farmers league because Bayern has now won their 10th consecutive Bundesliga title.
Jeez.
But that's not easy to do. It's not easy to do what Bayern has done. It really isn't.
Very true. Very true.
I mean,
it's good management. It's good management, most
yes,
importantly.
club top down, everything. I mean, they blooded Jamal Musiala in different roles this year. They've given they've done a lot more. Frankly, they've done a lot more with their youth academy than PSG has, right? But 10 titles in a row is not easy to do, no matter what the disparity in resources, no matter how good of a business acumen you've got or whatever. And I got to bring up, man, you probably were going to say this too, but that Kingsley Coman stat is just absolutely unreal. You want to say it or should I say it? Because it's got to be said.
Coman has won a league title every single season he's played senior football. Kingsley Coman. That's the stat, right?
That's the stat, man. 2 League Ones, 2 Serie A's, and now 7 Bundesliga titles in a row.
Man. It's like he cherry picked it. It's like in Bayern was like he said it. Oh, at Bayern I'll win it always.
That's and he was not wrong. And here's the thing: he also added. He's got 4 cups, maybe 3 in Germany, 1 in maybe the Copa Italia. I think I don't know, but he's got 4 cups as well. He's got a Nations League title with France. And we got to remember, like, he's only 25. He's only 25 years old. It's injuries one, and he debuted at 16 years old. I don't know if he's still the youngest, but when he debuted for PSG, he was the youngest player ever to debut for PSG. So the only one I know that's got legendary numbers like he does in terms of the actual trophy case is got to be Kylian Mbappe, right? Who's got 14 major trophies, and he's now only 23. So
I'd say that's the similar, and yeah, very true. And Coman, I remember at the start was like more of a cam, right? Then he got to the winger role. Like he's been through a lot. He has been 16. That's so true. He's been on the scene very, very early, very early.
Yes.
And with Bayern Munich, you were saying how it's so well run, and I completely agree with you because I was seeing the interview of Joshua Kimmich, and he corrected the journalist saying, I only won it 7 times. So Joshua Kimmich is not counting that he wants that they won 10, but he's counting the ones he won with him, and it's 7. Yeah. So he's on his way for the 8th, the 9th. But Breton, I'm just gonna put it out there. I think Dortmund are sick of this. And Nagelsmann, in that game, Dortmund was doing a pretty good fight at the start, and 2 attacks aroused, 2 goals came. They were clutch, Nagelsmann, and they were efficient, and that's why Bayern won that game. But Dortmund, in this offseason, this summer, they're reported they've already signed Nicolas Süle. They are reported to get Nico Schlotterberg, the center back, very good German center back. They're reported to get Karim Adeyemi. So they're already thinking of when they're not going to have Erling Haaland. And I'll be honest with you, they solve the defense and they get the Haaland replacement with these 3 players. So it's like, I legit believe that Dortmund next season. I always say it though.
Yeah, I know. I know. And who knows? It might have been different if Reina wasn't injured the whole year, if Haaland wasn't injured on and off the whole year, if Zagadou wasn't injured on and off the whole year. I mean, they've dealt with a lot, and they're still in second place. They dealt with a lot, and they're still in second place, and that is amazing in terms of having to dig into the depth of what they can do. And it maybe Moukoko comes and has a breakout season for them. I mean, they need something like that. They need that youth academy to deliver again. Maybe it's Jamie Bino Gittins that next year has a breakout for them, but they need that combination of the two. And if they can hold on to Bellingham, but I don't know. I don't see it happening anytime soon unless unless Bayern falters. Falter. Something has to happen there because Leverkusen, while they're incredibly entertaining to watch, there's too much inconsistency and frailties. Also with injuries in them as well, and those are like the only two I can look at and say that in the next 1, 3, 5 years, if they hold on to their talents, that they have any chance of giving Bayern a run for their money if Bayern remains to be as effective as they have been. It's really impressive, dude.
Leverkusen got that Wirtz injury. That's what I was thinking when you were saying that's like, oh my days, like so unlucky.
Gut punch.
So unlucky.
Yeah.
They could have gotten that third place, or are they? I think it's Leipzig though. It's
There.
Leipzig. Yeah.
Leipzig had a chance. Leipzig beat Union Berlin midweek to head to the DFB Pokal final. And then they had a return leg essentially in the Bundesliga against Union Berlin, and I think Union Berlin won. So I think it's Leverkusen 3, Leipzig 4, but like chomping at the bit. So yeah, I mean, if we're gonna talk about that Bundesliga, I gotta throw. Well, we can save it for Wonderkids.
Well,
you want to talk about the other Bundesliga?
Yeah, we can go to the Wonderkids in the news if there's anything. But just saying, Real Betis, big up on Betis. Just want to mention Real Betis, big up on them on getting that title, and Juan Miranda getting the last penalty that I was watching. I was so happy that he scored that one. So big up on him.
Yeah, but did you see how much it meant to them? Did you see how much it meant to them?
They deserve it. After the season, Real Betis deserves the title. So
yeah, and Pellegrini definitely deserves some credit, but I do have to bring up there. Remember, Arsenal sent Hector Bellerin there. It's his boyhood club, right? I believe it's right around where he grew up. And Hector Bellerin leaves, goes there and wins himself their first championship or their first trophy in 17 years. So it was tough to see Yunus Musa miss his penalty in this, but you got to be happy for a guy like Hector Bellerin and Real Betis because they absolutely they deserved it. I mean, the Copa del Rey was wide open this year, and that was the fun part of it. I loved it.
Martinez too. I was really surprised with that player, and Borja Iglesias, like proper striker. So and Fekir being there too, always a shout. Yeah. So
I love it. I love it. He was deadpan for a while. He was left for, obscurity. Basically, people saying he wasn't going to do anything, and he's really come into his own and done really well for Betis. And
after the Liverpool move dropped, after the people seeing the photos and everything goes down because of a rumored injury in the leg, a lot of people were discrediting 100%.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah,
so
man.
People, if there's anything we've missed out in the general news, please put down below in the comment section below, and feel free, and please go bold. So Wonderkids in the news, people. So we got to start with that league, right, that you were mentioning.
Let's do it. We can go to the other Bundesliga, which we don't want to keep naming leagues as farmers leagues, but Red Bull Salzburg has won their 9th, I believe it's 9th, consecutive Austrian Bundesliga title. And obviously they've done it, as they seem to always do, on the back of young talent. Karim Adeyemi, Brendan Aronson, Benjamin Sesko, Luka Susic, Nicholas Sievold. I may have botched that last name. Absolutely amazing to them. And I get the disdain for the corporate Red Bull moniker being tied to all of these clubs. I get the disdain for that, of finding money or just getting this, amazing transfer chest. But let's be honest. Every club could stand to be more of what Red Bull Salzburg is. Elite management. It is. It's elite management. And there is a reason why not only that they've won the Bundesliga with a bunch of young bucks, they are also in the UEFA Youth League final, not for the first time. They're in the UEFA Youth League final for the second time against Benfica again.
Exactly.
Okay? And guess who won the last time?
Benfica lost.
Benfica lost. And guess who was on that Benfica team? You had Ruben
João Felix,
Diaz,
yeah. Yep.
João Felix. You
Jota,
had
Florentino,
Jota.
Jetson.
Yes,
And
you got it all.
that midfield was like one of the best midfields I've seen youngsters play, man. Florentino and Jetson, when they were in Benfica Seychelles Academy, a menace duo. But great shout to Red Bull Salzburg, because it's no coincidence what's happening there. And let's not forget the big boy Haaland, okay, that was there, and he left for 20 million. So like, it's a wise decision if you're a young striker and you want to improve. And look, I'm gonna shout out because I know he watches this pod, and Roko Simic, the future of not just Red Bull Salzburg, but the future of Croatia. I'm confident enough to say that right now, because this kid, people, he is a baller, okay? 18 years old, and if Red Bull Salzburg are in that UEFA Youth League final, it's because of Roko Simic. And look, okay, he's got a great team around him, but Roko is the key player. Against Atletico, 2 goals and 1 assist. And like his involvement, like I remember seeing Roko at Lokomotiva in Croatia, and he was a deadly striker at the time. Now, with Red Bull Salzburg, he's so good involving with the team. And I think maybe Haaland improved himself when he got to Salzburg to involve himself with the team, because he's just like, he's got a clear objective, and that's to score a goal. And if he has to pass the ball, a killer instinct striker like him will always have his eye on goal. So yeah, Roko Simic, big up on him, and keep on doing you, man. You are the future, and yeah, love it.
Yeah, I got to put some stats on his name, because he's up to 7 goals, 3 assists in 8 UEFA Youth League games, all while for the team above him, for the senior squad in their Bundesliga winning team, his compatriot, his Croatian compatriot, 19 years old, Luka Susic, had a goal in their game that made it a sure thing today, a Bundesliga 9th in a row win. And I love, the Croatian influence that's happening on this team, to go with what we saw previously in previous years, the Zambian presence of, a Pots and Daka come from there. We all talk about Erling Haaland, but Pots and Daka came from there, right? I mean, it's amazing. And you've got also, was it Fashion Sakala that also came from there?
Yes.
I could be wrong. Yeah, I think he was. He's now at Rangers. But they have such great talent identification. And you know who else? Like, I don't mean to draw parallels between them, but like, United needs to tap into something like that. Manchester United needs, like, we always talk about the young bucks that they bring in, and the talent identification of Mejbri, of Shola Shoretire, of Garnacho. Give them a chance. Give them some sort of a chance to show themselves. Especially right now, when you're fighting for your life, who best to put on the field than a young, hungry kid that may or may not be ready, but if your coaches have done their job, they'll get it done. This is a Red Bull Salzburg team that found their way into the knockout rounds. Exactly. Right? Exactly. With a young team. And they can do it, so can United. Okay, so
in an Austrian league, which has, I'd say, 1/10 of what the Premier League has.
Man.
So it's like, you guys need to get it done. And I want to say too, you're saying that, and I'll put it with something else. Red Bull Salzburg, they had to identify to get these kids from Croatia, from Zambia, from France. So they have an elite scouting system at an elite price, because they don't overspend, and they seem to make the right moves and the right calls. But I want to highlight, in the youth league, the Portuguese side, okay, too. Roko is a baller, but come on, we have a ton of ballers too here at Benfica. And yes, it was tough. Okay, it was a tough game against Juve. But Benfica got it done. And if Samuel Swaj hadn't left the game, it ended up 2-2, and then it went to penalties, in which a 17-year-old goalkeeper, Andre Gomes, when I text you straight away, he stepped up and he saved that goal that was, the crucial save that got Benfica to the final. And I got to shout out Diego Moreira. Diego Moreira is a silky winger, one of the best wingers, okay, definitely in the youth league, and one of the players to watch definitely in that final. Martinet,
Mm-hmm.
midfielder, incredible midfielder in my opinion, great passing ability, and makes a great job next to Shed. And dude, that is the third player I gotta mention too that everybody needs
Mm-hmm.
to watch out. Shed and dude plays for Italy under 19, but is balling for Benfica in the youth league and for Benfica B. So that is huge. And last player I gotta say is Erik Araújo. Erik
Mm-hmm.
Araújo that is playing for Benfica's first team. He was called specially just to play the final. So let's see and people watch it. It's gonna be really good, man.
Yeah,
So
and they've got every bit of motivation to win this because if I didn't state it properly before, back in 2017, Red Bull Salzburg played Benfica in the final of the UEFA Youth League with powerhouses like João Felix, Ruben Diaz, Gedson, and others in tow, and they lost 2-1. So Benfica is going to be looking at this and saying, "Yeah, we got to exact our revenge."
they won.
And I can't say how much I love the UEFA Youth League. I just love the fact that there's this platform to bring these U19 teams together. And I mean, in 2017, it was Patson Daka scored in the final. It was Xavier Schlager, Hannes Wolf, Mergem Berisha, who now plays at Fenerbahce, all for Red Bull Salzburg.
Yes.
And these are players that have gone on, maybe more so on the Portuguese side, but a lot of these players have gone on to really do something. I mean, we know with that Benfica side where João Felix is, where Ruben Diaz is, where Jota is at Celtic. They're about to potentially win their title. I just love the UEFA Youth League. Can't say it enough. And I think we should probably do a best of when this is done, when the final's done and set, we should do a best 11.
I agree with you. We should. And put down below who we should put in that best 11, people. And last fact is João Felix played in that final. And who's going to play in the next? Hugo Felix, his brother. So it's wonderful to see that the Felix family is still in Benfica and present in the finals of the UEFA Youth League. Big up on João and Hugo Felix, the future of Benfica and Portugal too. So love it. But on Wonderkids, I wanted to shout Gaga Slonina, cause how many clean sheets is this man gonna get?
Yeah, he just had a little bit of a humbling defeat, but only because they had a red card and he got peppered. Made an amazing save though in the process. But yeah, he's up to 5 clean sheets. And I think there's a whole lot more to come. But there was a little more controversy as a U.S. men's national team fan. A little more controversy. If anyone knows if anyone wants to know what being an American fan feels like, especially the last 6-8 years from Jurgen Klinsmann to Greg Berhalter now, we like to call it dual national panic or dual nat panic. And it very simply means that being a country of immigrants, we have some players like Christian Pulisic that could have played for Croatia. Okay. Gio Reyna technically could have played for England because of where he was born. I don't really know about that. But there's always a panic that surrounds it. Normally it's a U.S.-Mexican player, right? U.S.-Mexico, born in El Paso or born in wherever, like a Ricardo Pepi or a Julian Araujo who plays for Mexico now. In this case, it's Gaga Slonina because there was a picture of the Portuguese national team coach flying over to Chicago, introducing himself to Gaga Slonina. Who knows how many times they've spoken? The Polish. What did I say?
Portuguese. I was like...
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. The Polish national team coach flew over to Chicago to sit down with Gaga Slonina, his family, and obviously the end hopeful nature of that type of time spent is that Gaga Slonina picks Poland as his country to represent. I'm still very confident that he'll pick the United States of America, but in the end, what this leads to is a whole lot of neurotic, sad, dual nat panic that tends to flush the airwaves and the Twitter sphere with panic. So Gaga Slonina, obviously, you just want him to be happy wherever he lands.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's off to an amazing start in Major League Soccer. If Chicago Fire could score some goals, they might be higher in the table. But he can't do anything about that. So Gaga Slonina is rightfully in the news, and this is a kid that will be making a European move sooner rather than later.
Completely agree with you. I saw that news about Poland. I just really wanted to know your thoughts on that. Oh man, again, it's like Chesney. Chesney's with Poland though.
Yeah.
He'll learn a ton with Chesney too. Lewandowski.
Yeah.
There's experience too there, but the big question for me is: did the Polish manager say like, if we pick you, you go to the World Cup? If you pick us, you go to the World Cup?
Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
That's what I would pitch him. I'd pitch him.
But here's yes. That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. He won't play, but that's absolutely amazing. Okay. But Gaga Slonina, here's what's got to be in his mind. 2026 is where's the World Cup, right?
True,
in the US.
True.
And you've got Zach Steffen not exactly on the most solid of grounds. You've got Matt Turner making a very risky but impressive move to Arsenal. You've got Ethan Horvath doing Ethan Horvath, which means he always signs for a club that tends to never play him. So you've got Gaga Slonina at the ripe old age of 17, sitting in this prime position where he could actually beat these guys out. Maybe not by 2022, but by 2026, he could be our number one. He should be potentially our number one unless somebody else comes in. So if he's thinking long term, hopefully he's thinking that way. But then again, Chesney isn't that young.
How old will he be? Like he's like 20. He's an under 23 player still.
Yeah, he's 17.
Like,
so he'll be like
so he'll be like a wonder, and not a Wonderkid, but a talent leading up to the World Cup. So this World Cup, he's like more experienced towards me. So
yeah, man, it's huge.
Big doubts.
It's huge. Yeah.
The other news I wanted to ask you is like Tchouaméni, because I see Liverpool rebuilds, United rebuilds, everyone rebuilds, especially in the Prem, and everyone puts Tchouaméni somewhere. Where would you put Tchouaméni?
You know, the more I think about this, obviously the most logical decision for him, maybe not for him in particular, but the most logical destination for him could be Manchester United because it's such a glaring spot that they need to fill, right? But the more I think about it, if Arsenal can get Champions League ball, Tchouaméni at Arsenal.
How would they pitch that though? That'd be hard.
I mean, it's a step up for Monaco.
It's true.
It's ambitious. It's a young manager. It's a young manager who it seems like they're going to back, especially if they get Champions League ball. It's a young core, a young forward, a young attack in front of them. It's a young defense. You've got Ben White, Gabriel they're 24. You've got Tomiyasu on the right. You've got Kieran Tierney when he's healthy, and Nuno Tap. I mean, you've got a nice foundation that you can build upon. If you can link up Champions League football, you can lock it up for next year. Aurélien Tchouaméni could go for that. No, I mean
it's true, and Arsenal would pay. If you're saying it that way, you're getting me. You're turning me in. You're turning me in. But like it's the Champions League football. 100% needs to happen if they get Tchouaméni.
It needs to happen. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah. But where do you have him pegged? I mean, I still think he's going to go to United potentially. But where do you have him pegged?
I think the best choice would be Liverpool. The best choice. If I was Tchouaméni's agent, I'll go to Liverpool because it seems like every business decision that Liverpool does is the right one. Konate, excellent business decision. Luis Diaz, excellent. Everybody praises a player that goes to Liverpool. Even Thiago, that at the start was getting a bit of criticism. Right now, if you criticize Thiago, you don't know ball basically, because everything that happens at Liverpool goes through Thiago. So, I'd say Tchouaméni to Liverpool. Yeah, but Real Madrid, I think are gonna get him. I think they're gonna get him.
Do they need him? I mean, I know they have an aging midfield, but who's he replacing long term there? I mean, you've got
Modric.
Camavinga.
It's Modric. It's Modric. It's Modric.
But he's not the same. Okay.
It's Camavinga that it will be Camavinga, Valverde, and Tchouaméni. I think that would be the midfield that Real Madrid would eye up for the future. But Valverde is the piece that if Tchouaméni comes, right? He's the piece that can, but he's playing very well. Champions League football, he's playing very well. So
watch Jude Bellingham leave Borussia Dortmund and Aurelien Tchouaméni joins Dortmund.
Oh no! Dortmund, they have that cash.
It's not exactly a bad thought. Witzel's leaving, right? You've got that midfield that, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm terrible at where things, because there's no accountability here. I could say wherever he's going to go to MLS. No, just kidding. But there's never any accountability. Maybe.
I think he'll go faster.
Gareth Bale to DC United. That's a real rumor. That's a real rumor, and one that actually might have a shred of fact to it.
Is there golf pitches in DC United?
There is. I think it's called Congressional. I think it's a good one. I'm not a golf guy. I'm not a golf guy, but I do know that Congressional, I believe, is the one that's everybody says is very nice.
Because it's in because Washington. Yeah. I guess your Congress. Okay, that makes sense.
And who knows? Maybe he has politics next. Gareth Bale, politics.
Welsh ambassador.
I have no.
The Welsh ambassador in
go.
the States. People would love him.
I could see it.
He would convince straight away. They'll be, we want to play golf against Bale. Oh, what an honor.
Yeah. But yeah, that is a real rumor. That is a real rumor that might actually. There's been talks previously. I don't think they ever went anywhere. Mm-hmm. But DC United just fired their coach, so they're trying to figure out the next steps. But anyway, another Wonderkid I gotta bring up. He's getting a little more attention, especially on Twitter. I know we've talked about him on our FB Wonderkids kind of news aggregator on Twitter. Follow it if y'all are looking for Wonderkids all the time. But this kid is making waves in Paraguay. He plays for Club Libertad. He's got 11 goals in 11 matches. And there is a lot of interest in him, including from Red Bull Salzburg. And that is Julio Enciso. And yeah, right now, I just have to say, I'm going to preface it. He's a stat to me. He's just a statistic. Okay. I've only gotten to watch him a little bit. And I'll be very honest. When I've watched him, I thought, But when I watched Julian Alvarez in previous times, I also thought the same thing. So I don't want to throw that, out there and say that he's not what he's not, right? He's 11 goals in 11 games right now, and he's definitely one to track because he has been involved in over 50% of Club Libertad's goal involvements this year. And Julian Alvarez is making his big jump a little bit later. And Enciso just turned 18 years old. And he is somebody that is going to be on the radar. I think Arsenal has had him on their radar in the past. Brighton is another place that has become very good at snapping up some of these youngsters. Atalanta, I think, has liked him because they're looking for a future without Luis Muriel. So there's a lot that still needs to be learned about Enciso. I would love if anyone in Paraguay sees this, anyone that knows South American ball, please throw a scouting report in the comment section. We will pin that. We will put it up there because right now he is a statistic to me. I got to be honest. But he's definitely one to track.
Great mention, people. Watch out. And if Salzburg wants him, he said Salzburg, and I was on you. I was like, okay. So the moment that happens, you got to be on top. So people, if there's anything in the Wonderkids news that we haven't spoken about, please put down below, people, and go bold. Do you want to go with the last one?
Ooh, let's do it. This is tough.
Last topic is the team of the season, people, in the Premier League. Go bold and smash the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel because this is such a big topic, okay? And look, let's start with the keeper.
Oh my gosh. I think we both have the same keeper? Because I think we're both pretty practical here. Obviously, the logical choice here is either Alisson or Ederson, but we are not going to be logical. You and I are both going to say
José Sá, the best goalkeeper in the Premier League this season. Yeah. The stats don't lie, right, Breton?
No, they don't. And he's goals prevented by far and away top. And I get it. Alisson and Ederson have been, I wouldn't say flawless, but they've been phenomenal for Manchester City, for Liverpool. I think Alisson now takes the lead with 19 clean sheets on the season. Maybe it's 19 for Ederson too. But anyway, Jose Sa, you have to say it because you're Portuguese and it sounds much better when you say it. But 28 goals conceded. He's got 11 clean sheets. It's the fourth best defense in the league. And Wolves, they're middle of the table. They've outperformed, and the expectation that people had of Wolves falling further down the table because Rui Patricio was off to AS Roma and this guy was coming in. It is why I wore the Olympiacos. You called it the moment you saw me. You knew my goalkeeper pick. But Jose Sa, I think he deserves it. I think Mendy kind of played his way out of contention here in the Premier League as of late. And the only other one that I feel like would be here maybe was De Gea. Because goals prevented, he's been stellar for a really crappy United team this year.
And I'll shout out, this is going to be surreal if you watch FC Wonderkids since like the start of the season. I'm going to shout Ramsdale because the defense of Arsenal has a leader. Gabriel is being wonderful, but Ramsdale. So Ramsdale, keep doing you. It's going really well, but I'll put Zessa too. I'll push Zessa. So I'll go with the left back first. João Cancelo, okay? For me, the best left back in the world in form right now. Okay? Yeah. João Cancelo. And with that, I think it makes it simple. The amounts of assists, the creativity. Like Klopp has that relationship with Trent, I think Guardiola is very proud of having Cancelo in his team. And it's fantastic to see because Juventus wanted to get rid of Cancelo and Guardiola wanted him. So seeing what's happening, it's no surprise for who knew João Cancelo's potential. So yeah, keep doing you, Cancelo, and yeah, he's my left back choice.
Okay. I wrestled with this. I just think the second half of the season that Andrew Robertson has had, my left back is Andrew Robertson. All right. So Robbo gets the left back nod, and it's mostly because he just hit double digits in assists for the season. We sit here, we talk about Alexander Arnold all the time, about his successful crosses, about his delivery, about this, about that. Robbo's right up there.
True.
He's right up there, right? Progressive passes. He's just as much a part. His defending has actually gotten much better. And I just love the tenacity. There's no doubt that Cancelo could also, in my mind, get this nod. I just felt that Robertson is just absolutely massive to them, and like they're right up there, Cancelo and Robertson together. So I had to go with Robbo.
I had Cancelo right, but at the down I had Robertson too. So it's like it's more than it's understandable if you're like both ballers. So center back duo. Woo!
Yes.
I think. Look, I went safe here, and I went for the two that I think were the best this season. But I could have gone bold a bit, and Virgil van Dijk and Rüdiger. Okay, I think these two, being the last season of Rüdiger, I was like, okay, man, let me put him in the team of the season, definitely, because he's got to be. And Virgil van Dijk. Look, I know there's a couple of people I can put there that can get a shout. Like, I'd say Laporte, maybe. I won't say Ruben Diaz, of course, because that injury. I think the consistency. So I give it to Virgil van Dijk and Rüdiger. That's my center back duo.
I am kind of shocked. I thought you'd throw a City guy in there, but they've been working a little bit kind of by committee. I mean, Stones has been great. Laporte, I think you're right, has been the best of the three. Ruben Diaz probably would be there if he wasn't injured. But I don't know what to say, man. We're 100%. My center back duo is Antonio Rüdiger and Virgil van Dijk, and I have one stat, even though there are multiple stats. Maybe I put them in like the comments or something so people know why I picked who I picked. But Virgil van Dijk, Antonio Rüdiger there are stats that support it, but Antonio Rüdiger, I mean, you just see him. He is, I like to call him bull in the china shop, right? And he makes those runs. It's sometimes he even looks like a libero out there, just going insane. And I love it. But Virgil van Dijk, Liverpool is 61 goals to the good when VDV is on the pitch. Another shout could be for Joel Matip, but when Joel Matip is on the field with him or, with somebody else like Konate, it's 50. Okay? So there's an 11 goal differential to the good when VDV is on the pitch, and he leads the Premier League in that. They score more goals when VDV's there, and they let less up when VDV's there. So if you just take that on its face, Virgil van Dijk, he might not be back to his primo, prime time Virgil van Dijk form, but he has been everything Liverpool has needed this year. So yeah, Van Dijk, man. Rüdiger and Van Dijk are my center back pairing.
And with the right back, I think we have the same too. Trent Alexander-Arnold, right?
Yeah. I mean, shout out to Reece James and some others, Kyle Walker, but Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah.
What else is there to say?
Yeah, he gets punches. So at our defense right now, it's all the same. Gisesa, Trent, Rüdiger, Virgil van Dijk, and Cancel. So the three in midfield. Did you go bold, Breton?
I did not. I did not go bold. Actually, I did. I did go bold. I went bold in one place. Okay. I went bold in one place. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. I think. Okay, my midfield is Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, and Declan Rice.
You put Bernardo.
I did. And when I watch City games, my mind, my eyes just gravitate towards Bernardo Silva.
Understandable.
Okay. It's the quality. Sometimes it's not on the stat sheet. Most of the times it actually is on the stat sheet, but he is the heartbeat in many respects of what City tries to get done. And while it doesn't show up in a 20 assist season or a 20 goal season, we all know how important Bernardo Silva is to the fabric of Manchester City. KDB's second half of this season has been amazing. I know that he barely played the first half, or there were a lot of injury layoffs, but when he plays, he's just amazing. Obviously, I wanted to put like a Conor Gallagher, but I'm not going to do that. That's way too bold. But I wound up putting Declan Rice. Okay, I put Declan Rice because he's been top tier in like mucking up the passing lanes, interceptions. Manages to jumpstart the attack with progressive passes. It's not just Mr. I'm going to pass back for safety. He's top decile in passes into the final third, both short, medium, and long passes. He's super tidy, and he's 23, and this guy is like every bit the captain. He's like, he's one of the most coveted transfer targets of this season for this offseason for a reason, and he's the biggest reason why West Ham, in my opinion, is where they are right now in the table. So there's obvious exclusions here. Rodri for City, but I had to pick Declan Rice for what he's done, how far he's punched above the weight expected of him, and how professional he is at the age of 23. Man, I mean, it's impressive. So for me, De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Declan Rice. That's my midfield. Yours.
You said it's way too bold, but guess what I did?
You put Gallagher?
Yeah, I did. My midfield has De Bruyne, Conor Gallagher, and Declan Rice. My shout would be Bowen.
Wow.
Bowen was the player I was a bit like, but I can't leave out De Bruyne because De Bruyne is the sauce of City. Like the big games, like that game against Liverpool, without De Bruyne, they would have lost to Liverpool.
Yeah.
Pretty simple.
Yeah.
That justifies De Bruyne $500K a month. A week, sorry.
Sure.
A week.
Not
a month. Rice, I agree with you. The captain, the leader, the motor, the engine of West Ham. So, yeah, I completely agree. Conor Gallagher, though. I wanted to shout him out because I think Conor Gallagher, the fact that he plays the same way he plays for England, the same way he plays for Crystal Palace. And I see that the potential you were seeing, I see it now too. I honestly think Conor Gallagher is going to be one of the best midfielders in the next 5 years, maybe in the Prem, if he stays. That's how good. Yeah. I have no idea what happens after Crystal Palace with all after this situation with Chelsea. So I want to give him this shout for the team of the season because, yeah, he was so surprising to me and so impressive. And my other shout is a youngster, Olise. Just gonna give a shout
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Elise. Just gonna give a
Oh
shout to
yeah.
Elise. So
That's a solid shout. That's a solid shout. I mean, for older shouts, I think we could say like Fabinho
oh,
maybe
of
deserves
course.
a shout.
No. Yes. No, yeah,
Yeah,
Thiago. No,
yeah.
Coutinho, Bruno
Yeah.
Guimarães now. Like
So many.
so like Erik said. No, I'm I was
Yeah.
just going a bit bold with all these.
But also on Wolves, Ruben Neves, he's had a hell of a season.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's been a little different of a season. But one I
Mhm.
definitely want to shout because he just put another banger in the net the other
Mm.
day. And I know Southampton has fallen by the wayside
Ah.
as of late, but James Ward-Prowse, man, he's got a skill set that I am so surprised that he is still at Southampton. And I don't mean that as a knock against Southampton, but James Ward-Prowse has a skill set that is world class. Dead balls. Somebody needs to snap him up and give him a larger, a larger stage from which to play his game.
But where to?
Because
like, where to?
I know
It's in the Prem. It's in the Prem. But where to?
Newcastle,
It would be
they got
Arsenal.
Guimaraes.
Arsenal needs that position, right? But
Yeah,
I won't think. I don't recommend Arsenal to IM up, considering what they can get instead. But
sure.
like I like Ward Prowse as I mentioned. But Newcastle, you said a great mention. Love it.
Yeah.
Ward Prowse with Newcastle.
Could happen.
That'd
Could
be
happen.
really good. So now
Ooh.
front trio. It's the bold time now, people. It's so difficult. You got so many options for the front
Too many.
trio, and I know everybody's dying to know if I put Križ, right? Because Križ, he's inevitable. Križ has 24 starts, 16 goals, 3 assists for Man United this season with that team, and that doesn't work for him the correct way because Cristiano Ronaldo is a system player, just like Lionel Messi is, in my opinion. But my front trio, I'm gonna say Heung-min Son, Diogo Jota, and Mo Salah. Because this front trio playing, like, it would be ridiculous just seeing them. But like switching up positions in the front trio, it would be a madness. And I have to put Jota in my front trio. I have to. Kane would have been if Kane would have started this season with the form that I'm seeing Harry Kane right now. Not in the last game, but right now. Like, so, yeah, that's my front trio.
I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I have nothing else. I have nothing else to say. I have the exact same front three. So you can just put a heading that says Alex and Breton's front three for the best 11 for the Premier League season. I mean,
But
the only thing I got to say, Mo Salah with the AFCON absence, Diogo Jota plugged a gap. He got hot at the right time. He was much needed, and he has continued. He has continued to be consistent. And while, yes, I know Luis Diaz is in there now, but like Salah and Jota has really picked up a lot of slack. He's allowed for Salah not to play at his best at all times. He's allowed for Sadio Mane to have a couple anonymous games. Diogo Jota gets on the end of things. He's great aerially, which is shocking because he's not that tall.
He's tiny,
he gets on the end of things. He's that. I already said that. I'm just very impressed with what he's put together this season for Liverpool, even considering the attacking caliber that Liverpool has at their disposal. If he has a bad stretch of games, he could be benched and not see a lot of time, but he has continued time and time and again to get timely goals for them. So I've got Son on the left, Jota playing a false niner at actually striker, and I've got Salah on the right. And we got to remember, most Salah's numbers are with that AFCON absence. Okay. But obviously the largest shout out, you understandably shouted out Ronaldo. We shouted out Bowen in the midfield. I have to shout out Sadio Mane because if you look at statistics, non-penalty expected goals leader. Okay, he is ahead of everyone.
But Son
in the Premier League, right? Is it but Son? Maybe, but he's definitely ahead of Jota and he's definitely ahead of Salah. Okay, so non-penalty expected goals leader. Sadio Mane, if you factor in the AFCON absence. And what that would have done to Mane's numbers, I wouldn't even say he's had the best year, and he is still incredible for Liverpool. So
Great shout.
still
Great shout.
couldn't crack that top 3.
Great shout. It's because the Prem is completely stacked. And I just want to say this because it's going to be on tape. I believe 24th of April, Jota's in my 4-3. By the 22nd of June, that is the last Premier League game, I think Cristiano Ronaldo will be in my team of the season. Because I don't want to, I believe something can happen and I want to put it out. He might have to be in the team of the season because of the end stretch. Let's wait and see.
Yeah, so why do we do this then? No, there's always a flurry of games, but obviously it is the.
I get you. But
we'll update this. I think we also have to do a U23 one at some point. But
Very true.
hey man,
Some shouts.
Yeah, and I am shocked that we had as much parallels, as many as we did, because but you're Conor Gallagher. I love it. I love it. That is bold.
I just wanted to give a bit of sauce with the Crystal Palace season with Vieira, because we called it in the season predictions that Crystal Palace was going to be a surprise. So if you don't believe us, go watch the tape. So people, tell us down below anything. Tell us down below your team of the season for the Premier League. Go bold. Feel free to say your predictions and leave a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, people. Episode 53 in the wraps, people. I hope you people enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to check out fcwonderkid.com if you want to support us a bunch more. And check our lives this week because Champions League week. Oh my days. Big games.
It's coming.
Twitch,
it's coming.
FC Wonderkid. Go bold, people.
So long.